You have absolutely no idea how to start investing money. We know that every wealthy person invests their money, every single one of them, but you don't know where to start. You're lost, you're confused. There's 8,000 different accounts and terms that you don't understand. Here's a simple way to start. Watch this video. The easiest way to start investing is to open a brokerage account and invest in an S&P 500 index fund. Let me show you how. Step 1, open a brokerage account. You can do this through any major platform such as E-Trade, Fidelity, Charles Schwab. They're all very similar and they're all pretty good. Whatever website you like to use, just pick that one. Or if you already have an account in one of those things through like an employer's 401k, then just go ahead and stay in Fidelity or in Charles Schwab or whatever you're already in. So what is a brokerage account? A brokerage account is a place where you can store money and invest it in stocks and bonds. This is different than a bank savings account or a checking account because you cannot invest that money. It just makes very, very little interest in a bank savings account. A brokerage account is an investing account that you open up through investing firms like Fidelity. Anybody can open up a brokerage account and you can deposit any amount of money, whether it be $5 or $500,000. And you can make unlimited contributions and withdrawals on your money at any time, any age. There's no restriction. Brokerage account, unlike some other investing accounts, it has the most amount of freedom. Let me show you how easy it is to open up a brokerage account. If I go to fidelity.com, every single website is going to make it really easy for you to open an account because they want your money. At the top here, you just hit open account, scroll down to a brokerage account right here, open a brokerage account. Are you a Fidelity customer? Let's say no. It just takes a few minutes and you are on your way to opening up a brokerage account with Fidelity. What about E-Trade? Let's go to etrade.com. Top right hand corner, it's nice and simple for you. Open an account. You hit open an account, brokerage account. It's already highlighted for you. Hit continue. It's going to be an individual account just for you. Are you an existing customer? Look, this is all the same, right? And you are on your way, plugging your information to opening a brokerage account in 5 minutes. What if we go to Charles Schwab, right? Schwab.com, top right hand corner, open an account. Scroll down, brokerage and trading, open an individual brokerage account. Scroll down, get started, plug in your information, and you are on your way to opening a brokerage account. Step 2, make an initial deposit and invest the money. It's important to do both. So make an initial deposit from any bank account that you have. So if you have a savings account with Wells Fargo, you can transfer any amount of money from that savings account into your brokerage account. It takes about 1 to 2 business days. Once the money is in the account, it is not automatically invested once it's in the brokerage account. You need to physically invest that money. What do you invest in? That's part 2 of step 2. The simplest thing to invest in is an S&P 500 index fund. Historically, it has had the most success out of any index fund you could possibly invest in. It's simple. It keeps you diversified. The S&P 500 is made up of over 500 different large capital companies. So you're investing in things like Apple and Microsoft and Tesla, all of that just by investing in the S&P 500. So that's the S&P 500, but what does the index part mean? Well, an index just means that it mimics the performance of a fund. So the S&P 500 index fund mimics the performance of the S&P 500. So every platform like Vanguard and Charles Schwab and Fidelity have their own S&P 500 index fund. It's usually called Charles Schwab 500 fund or Fidelity 500 index fund or Vanguard 500 index fund. An index fund is a really, really low cost fund. There's very minimal fees. And the reason there's minimal fees is because it's simply tracking another fund. So in itself, it's not actively managed. They don't have a manager that's appointed to picking stocks day in and day out to manage that fund. It's just an algorithm that already tracks a fund that's already in existence. It's meant to mimic that fund. So whatever that fund does, a computer can just change it so that the S&P 500 index fund does the same thing. S&P 500 has historically gained 10.7%. So if you invest $1,000 in the S&P 500 this year, on average, you'll have $1,100 next year by doing nothing but just leaving your money in the S&P 500 index fund. The S&P 500 is such a great investment because it provides really good, steady gains. Why? Because there's no human emotion to it. Gets scared and starts to sell off, or believes in the hype and starts to buy. It's just a steady track index, takes all the emotion out of it. And that's why the S&P 500 is such a great investment. It is simple. Warren Buffett said it himself, if he were to only invest in one thing, it would be the S&P 500. Last step, step number 3, set up automatic deposits into your brokerage account. Set it up so that you're automatically transferring $500, $1,000, even $100 a month from your bank savings account to your brokerage account. When you automate stuff, it takes out the chance that you don't actually ever end up doing it. Because chances are you'll watch this video, you'll open up a brokerage account, you'll dump some money in there, and then you'll forget about it and never do it again. Set it up so it's automatic. The less you have to think about, the less you have to physically do, the more likely you are to stay with it. However you're gonna do it. If you're gonna invest a large sum yearly, cool. Put a date on your calendar that's gonna be the time that you invest that large sum into your brokerage account, and then immediately invest it. Compound interest is a snowball effect. At first, it starts off really small. You're not gonna see a ton of progress. Don't get burned out. Don't give up hope. Let it build. And at the end of it, you're going to be shocked how much money you make. I promise you, this is how wealthy people make money. Compound interest will make you wealthy. Albert Einstein said it's the 8th wonder of the world. You need to get onto it. And the simplest way to do that is invest in a brokerage account. If you're not sure how to do certain things, subscribe to this channel. It's all about finance and financial education videos. I promise you, I probably already have a video, or I'm going to make a video in the near future to answer your questions. If you have specific questions, go ahead and comment them below, and I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you for watching this video. If you got anything out of this, please hit like. It helps the channel and it helps this video. Thanks. I'll see you in the next video.